So guys, I've sunk my teeth into Diablo 4 for a good 50 hours now, and I've been talking to 3 of my friends who've also been no-lifing the game, and together we've made it a list of the 10 useful tips we wish we knew before we started playing. By the way, I'm also in the process of making a really big review of the game, so I won't be uploading for a while. Now, our biggest regret had to be worrying too much about loot while leveling. There's so many fixes on gear to just sit and try and optimize, but honestly, it's just not worth it until you get to the end game, because you upgrade gear so quickly. So don't be sat there trying to stack certain stats, percentile based things like damage to close enemies or bleed damage. Honestly, just focus on getting gear with better armor. This doesn't mean don't optimize at all, because it's important, especially for more difficult classes, to level like a barbarian, to at least not equip gear that has crap stats for your build, and have a basic knowledge of what's good and what's not. My point is, just don't over-analyze the gearing process while leveling, especially as increasing primary stats low level really doesn't have a huge impact on your actual damage. And you can physically see this in-game by hovering your mouse over your stats. Armor is important to keep upgrading because damage reduction obviously gives you the best chance to succeed in the game. If you want to learn more advanced knowledge and min-maxing when it comes to gearing and builds and what legendary aspects to focus on, you can simply just get the Mobiletics Overlay app. This tells you everything you need to know about building your character to be as powerful as possible. As you can see here, the Cannon's 1-50 starter twisting blades build tells you to focus on stacking vulnerability and core skill damage on what legendary aspects are best. The app is totally free to download, and at the moment they're doing a huge giveaway for people who install the app with my link in the description for the official Blizzard statues of Lilith and Anarius, plus some cheeky collector's edition. Now my third tip is simple: don't ever buy vendor gear. It's stupidly expensive, never really that good, and I guarantee if you play the game for 20 minutes after you've bought that piece of gear, you're going to find an upgrade anyway. Don't just vendor everything. Although this makes a good amount of gold, it's far better to strike a balance between dismantling gear at a blacksmith and vendoring for gold. It's especially important to upgrade your gear if you're playing a squishy class or you're on veteran mode. But it's not worth upgrading your gear too much, because again, you are going to be replacing gear very quickly. But you will regret not having upgraded your gear for those difficult boss fights, so normally I would at least upgrade my gear personally twice, especially if it's legendary or rare. By the way guys, the best way to tell me that you want to see more Diablo videos from this channel is to subscribe. I've also got loads of giveaways to do very soon, because Blizzard have given me an insane amount of stuff to give to you guys, so stay tuned for that. Remember to also keep legendary gear with good aspects for later, because you can extract the aspects from the gear piece and then reapply it to a rare or legendary later at endgame. Again, you can use Mobiletics to find out what aspects are actually good for your build and then just put them in your stash, save them for later. Now this is more of a cheeky endgame tip, but when you are farming legendary aspects to optimize your character, you can just go to the Codex of Power and track what dungeon will give you the aspect you want, and then it will just show on the map. And when farming dungeons, remember that you can just go to the map, click the dungeon entrance, and there's a button to just leave the dungeon and Bob's your uncle, and then you can go on adventuring or do the dungeon again. Remember that pots can give you bonus XP along with their resistance bonuses, so you may as well keep them active for as long as you can. But remember to always save them for the difficult boss fights. And also don't forget, you need to upgrade your health potions every 10 levels. Only use Murmuring Opals on gear pieces that badly need an upgrade. These are RNG based, and honestly, most of the time you will be disappointed. Especially if you use them on the keys to unlock the chest, because the RNG on those for some reason is ridiculously low. Red circle events are always, and I mean always, worth doing. The XP reward is just too good to miss out on, and you normally get a cheeky gear upgrade, so really you're laughing. Along with red circle events, you should always be doing sellers, because they very often are going to give you some good gear upgrades. And lastly, altars of Lilith are very important. They boost all of your primary stats of your character, so it's important to keep on top of them while leveling to make the boss fights easier, because obviously it makes your character more powerful. They also increase your maximum capacity of Murmuring Opals. You don't want to be in a situation where you are capped and therefore wasting this currency. I'd honestly just cheat and use a map to find them all. I'll link one in the description. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end the video there. Until my next video, ciao.